How long you plan on?
All right, and we are live. Little late night. Everybody's been yelling for a shoot the shit show, so you fucking got your wish because I want to shoot some shit. So I'm happy to know that I'm not the only one that's up because I got people on the West Coast. Then it's like 8 o'clock or 7 over there. I don't know, but nine. It's 9. So we got. Oh shit, what the hell is that stuff? Hold on one second. My stuff had some stupid friggin' ad go up. What else is new? Alright, so on the panel, I got my boy, Ray Jr. from Comic Book Fanatics, one half of the Fanatic Doodle, and
What's going on, everybody?
Tim. Oh yeah, sure, yep. And Tim from Lords of the Round Table, Lords of the Long Box, and I don't know, you know their intros, you know who the fuck these two are, and maybe some other people might be coming in if you guys are up or whatever, you know who you are. So, Ray, how's Vegas? How you doing? And what's going on with yourself?
Vegas is fine right now. Like I said, it is hot. This is no place for a dark-skinned person. It was 123 today, but all in all, I've enjoyed myself here. I did, as you all know, last weekend, the Comic-Con. Just amazing. I got a lot of commission sketches done, which I still owe everybody a video, which I'm going to try to knock that out tomorrow, because since with the different time zone, people sleep in, so I'll be able to get up. When I wake up, it'll be like bright daylight, so I'm going to knock that out and post that. And then being able to meet Mr. Claremont, he's one real cool dude. He wanted to talk while he was signing my book. And then I looked to the side and I was like, well, sir, I'd love to talk, but the line is getting long. And he's like, he didn't care because he doesn't like to just sign and then you move on. He's not like that. He wants to talk. So I told him if opportunity permits, I'll come back and shoot the shit with him. But his line stayed long, and then whenever he wasn't there, he was on the panel talking. So, and then met Mr. Steve McNiven. He's pretty cool too. I told him I like the Civil War storyline that he started, and he greatly appreciated my service because he had found out I was in the military and signed my books for free, which he was going to charge, but signed all 7 of them for free, which he didn't have to do that, but he did anyway, and then took a picture with him. There was, like I said, a lot of new artists that was there that wasn't trying to charge an arm and a leg for commissions. I think the cheapest one I paid was $25, and that was the one where Avery Scott's assistant, his name is Twan, he did a Vegeta sketch for me for $25, and then the most I paid for was $75 by Dietrich Smith. He did that Black Star and Thunder book cover for me. So, like I said, all in all, I had a good time. That was my son's first con, and I think he did a pretty good job taking the video footage because I just gave him the camera and said, hey, go do what you got to do between 10 to 15 seconds on the video shoots, and then I'll just merge it all together. So now I'm just waiting on the 4th of July to celebrate here, and then head back down to Texas and start getting situated.
Sweet. Good, man. Good. Tim, my buddy, what have you been up to, bro? I know the Warriors got to you a little bit, and I know the Sharks. And I know dude, I was rooting for the Sharks for you, bro. I was rooting for you, but I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry. That's all I can tell you.
If you guys don't mind, I'm going to be eating while we're doing the show because
I was eating too.
I have munchies. I don't know what brought on the munchies, but I have munchies. So, yeah, let's do this.
All right, let's do it. So let's get to it. There was the LA Expo. DC was there. Warner Brothers was there. A lot of cool fucking news came out. And the one thing I want to bring up is, if I can get the damn page up, probably not, because why should anything work right when I want to do it? But hold on, let me do that. Let me do this. Here we go. Nope. All right.
There we go.
There we go. Justice League, baby. This is it. This is not a drill. This is actually going to happen. I can't believe it. And I'm excited. I'm a big DC guy, if you all don't know that. And let's see. And the one thing that really came out, they're not doing a two-parter. They said this is a one part, and that's it. So this is the synopsis of the film. Fueled by his restored faith in humanity and inspired by Superman's selfish act, Bruce Wayne enlists the help of his newfound ally, Diana Prince, to face an even greater enemy. Together, Batman and Wonder Woman work quickly to find and recruit a team of metahumans to stand against this newly awakened threat. But despite the formation of this unprecedented League of Heroes, Batman, Wonder Woman, Aquaman, Cyborg, and The Flash, it may be already too late to save the planet from an assault of a catastrophic proportions. So, we already also know that the big bad in this film is going to be Steppenwolf, which is Darkseid's uncle, which is Apocalypse, which is Parademons. All those good things that Jack Kirby gave us. That's coming. So, big question is, Superman, he's dead. What happened? He's coming back. We all know he's coming back. Maybe with the long hair? I don't know. But I'm excited about this. Also excited the fact that, let me just stop that. Also excited with the fact that they announced the movies, which are going to be The Flash, Aquaman, Cyborg, Batman, and then, of course, Justice League and the Wonder Woman film that's coming out next year. No information about Shazam. Shocking on that one, considering the fact that they put Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson in the role of the Black Adam. So that makes me think maybe he's showing up somewhere in the Justice League film. That's maybe at the end, maybe a teaser. Don't know. But let me get you guys' thoughts of what you think about the news that was said, about the villains, about what they're going to be doing, and also they also said a little lighter approach because they understood the people backlash of the darkness of Batman versus Superman. So that's a good tidbit to know. I'm going to start with Tim. Tim, what do you think about this news coming out of LAX? But I know a lot of other things came out that you have some info about, so I'll get your thoughts on what I just said, and you can go with the other thing too.
Well, I think it's good. I think Warner Brothers is hearing the backlash of critics and fans. Lukewarm reception. It wasn't a horrible film, but it was after all the build-up and all the hype, and admittedly the hype was done by Warner Brothers and Zack Snyder. When the creators hype it up, then that gets you excited, and then when they come out with it, you're like, and everything else. But now I think they saw, let's rethink our strategy and let's do something different. And I think they hopefully will. And to add on to that is I don't know if you're going to touch on it later, was the the set visit that Warner Brothers did. They invited a bunch of critics, and oddly, they invited the critics that panned BVS to come onto the set to see Justice League, and they gave a little dog and pony show. They showed them like little footage and saying, we're doing this, we're doing that, and we're a pessimistic society, so especially critics, right? So the word out of all of them were, if you Google Zack Snyder damage control, there's literally like 6, 7, 8, 9 links to it. Everybody has a raised eyebrow, like this seems rather suspicious. Why they're going ahead of this, jumping in front of this so quickly, and because the movie's so far out that to show people, hey, look, we're gonna infuse some humor into it. It's like, okay, hey, thanks for trying, and hopefully it'll work out. So they showed a little clip with the. So the scene is Commissioner Gordon is talking to, I think, Cyborg, Wonder Woman, Green Lantern, and Flash. And he says something. He turns around, he looks back, and they disappear. The kind of the thing when he talks to Batman, he turns around and Batman's gone. So it was Green Lantern, Wonder Woman, and Cyborg just disappeared, but Flash is the only one there. So his funny line is, "Oh, don't you hate it when it happens?" And the Flash takes off. So And people are like, well, that's funny, but it's kind of, we don't have context for it. But at least it's trying, and I'm glad. They need, it's the Justice League. You got to have fun with it. You know what I mean? The Flash is fun. I mean, the certain version of Green Lantern is fun. And hopefully it works out. But the only thing I'm skeptical of is don't force the humor. You know what I mean? Don't like put in fart jokes or stuff like that. So hopefully they can find a fine line. And I don't want to be the guy that says it, but it's like I don't know if I have. It's the Zack Snyder effect. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we got that aftertaste a little bit here, and we got a little. I'm like you too, man. I really want. I don't care if it's Marvel or DC or any other comic book company. I want all comic book movies to succeed because as a collector of comics and liking the stories and reading them and in getting involved with these characters and enjoying them, I want them to succeed. I want them to be great so people, when they get to my age and everything like that, they can enjoy what they have seen as they're growing up and then maybe get into other characters. I just want to, it's just fun. I mean, to me, I just love superheroes and I love their stories. That's just me.
Like you see the Justice League cartoons?
Yeah.
They're great, right? They have good humor in it when you see the Flash running around, zipping around, doing anything. And so I think what DC's going to do is the Flash is going to be the
lighter side of it,
the Quicksilver of the X-Men movies, right? He's like the quickie, the quick one-liners and stuff like that. So you know what? I'm going to give him. I'm going to wait and see, and hopefully it works out because they got a lot of films on the slate, so it's it's hard to tell right now because it's still early in its infancy to see what movies are going to do what and how. Hopefully they all build to something because what's the release dates? Is it the solo films first and then Justice League, or Justice League then the solo films?
Well, as far as I understand it, the next film is coming up is Wonder Woman. And then after that is the Justice League. It comes out in November of next year. That's what I'm understanding it to be. But I'll double check on that. But as I double check on that, Ray, let me get your thoughts on it. Justice League, it's a reality. It's happening. The news that you've seen or just heard from us and everything like that. How do you feel about that, my brother?
I'm a little upset that they're only doing one film. How can you take one of the greatest DC teams and only give them one film? I mean, the Avengers got two, so why is it that Justice League is only getting one? And then
I think they're worried. They're not worried. I think they just don't want to get ahead of themselves again and start throwing out and maybe see how how it's going to go. If the movie's a big hit and makes a boatload of money, they're making a second part. But anyway, continue. I'm sorry to cut you off.
Then, do they really need? I mean, the villain that they're picking. I thought maybe, I don't know. I don't know about the Steppenwolf character too much.
He's badass, man. He's a badass dude. So,
like I said, maybe they are gonna, if the movie takes off and it does good, then Darkseid comes in the second. So maybe, they're gonna set it up for success, which I think DC is so behind with these movies, because they're trying to milk Superman and Batman movies instead of just going with it and then trying back in the day, when Marvel came out with, Captain America, the Hulk and all that, to try to, I ain't gonna say to keep up with them, but, go ahead and get you a creative team to go ahead and start writing these movies, because now you're already like 10 years into it, and we only got like two characters that been on the big screen, while Marvel's like running away with it. So hopefully with this new creative team that they done put together, it'll be better. And then I like the attitude that Ben Affleck has, as in he's going to do his damnness to make sure that the Justice League movie is going to be straight. And
the Batman film, too. He has a script for the Batman movie, but he doesn't like it. And he wants to improve on it. So, which is a good thing for us.
I'm just looking for DC to build and to be better in the future and that way we can get those movies we want to see. Now with that, you're talking about with Shazam. I thought the release date was like 2018, so they still got like a couple of years before it comes out. Because I know The Rock was saying he is playing Black Adam, but I know he's about to do, was it Doc Savage beforehand for the upcoming movie, Doc Savage? Did you hear that, Tim?
Yeah.
Yes, he did.
Yeah, he's got a lot of stuff on his plate right now, so it's, you know, it's it's the carriage leading the horse or the horse leading the carriage. You know, it's like just somebody needs to right the ship. You know, get that Kevin Feige guy over at DC. We always say this over and over again, right? You know, somebody, you know, and the person to right the ship or to you know, get the game plan going shouldn't be a director, right? It should be somebody who's stepping back who can see everything.
Yeah, Jeff Johns, that's the guy. That's who they got.
Yeah.
Somebody with knowledge of the DC characters, like some type of backstory. I got it. They, you know, they don't want to go like the origin where they want to change up a little bit. But one thing that I don't like about superhero movies, I'm tired of their secret identity being identified in the freaking movie. You know what I'm saying? Don't come right out like the first movie. How the heck does Lex Luthor know Batman is Bruce Wayne and Superman is freaking Clark Kent in that movie?
Right. You know, a good theory came up during the off-air hangouts and stuff like that, and people that I've talked to. A good theory came up about, well, how did Lex know about it? Because, as you know, Batman stole the information from Lex's supercomputer, and Wonder Woman wanted because it showed her back in the World War I and whatever. And I'm like going, well, maybe Lex didn't do that. Maybe Lex stole that from another government, maybe Stars or Argus or, you know, something like that for his own personal use. So maybe Lex Luthor didn't name him and all that. Maybe they already had, who knows? That scene just, it was cool, but that was the way that we were trying to shove in a couple of more heroes and give you a little cameo, say, hey, look what's coming. And it just didn't really click with me. It's like, well, how the fuck did he know all of them? You know, right? So we don't know where that's going to go with that.
Who came up with their symbols?
I know they made the symbols and everything. Like I said, I think we all beat it like a dead horse and all that stuff. I just want to show you guys one more photo. This is from the expo also. Put that up and present to everybody. These are the logos as we're talking here. So like I said, we got the Suicide Squad down here. This is the Justice League, the Batman film, the Wonder Woman film coming out next year. Aquaman and the Flash are going to be worked on after Justice League. And Green Lantern, I'm happy about that. So, but like I said, no Shazam. So they were showing that and telling everybody what was going on. I'm excited. I hope they get it right. And like you said, yeah, definitely damage control, Tim. I totally agree with you with that. I think they know what happened. They know what they did. And I just want to show something else with you guys, because this I just found out like literally like 20 minutes ago. And if I can get it up, that would be great. It does have to pertain to the Batman vs. Superman film here, so let's just see. Here we go.
Pop some Viagra, you'll get it up.
There we go. And, no, that ain't it. I almost had it. Okay, come on. I'm going. Love Google sometimes, really do. All right. There we go. They are going to screen Batman vs. Superman, the Ultimate Cut, for one night for free. That's right, free. What you need to do is go. It might be in your area. I don't know if you're in a suburb. If it's doing it, to go to www.wbtickets.com. You will see this screen. You type in your zip code. As you can tell, I typed in mine, and it told me to go eat a dick, so I cannot see this for free. So I've been buying this stuff, but if you want to see this movie for free in the extended cut, the R-rated version, the 3-hour-long version, You can go see it for free for fans out there that are still having hope for this film. I'm actually having hope for this 3-hour cut. Far as what I'm hearing and seeing little clips, because I'm waiting till I get it. I'm trying to stay away from the news because I want to be surprised. Yeah, maybe they shouldn't have cut the film. I think they should have left it at the 3-hour mark, and maybe some of the stuff that we had problems with maybe would have been explained a little bit more. That's just my feeling on it. I mean, I don't know how you guys feel. Ray, I'll start with you. How do you feel about the ultimate cut coming out? And hell, man, maybe in Vegas they're showing for free on Monday night.
Well, like you said before, they should have never cut it. They should have just went ahead and played the whole 3 hours, and everybody would have been happy. So that way, what's his name, Zack Snyder wouldn't be getting all this backlash.
Yep.
So if they would have just went ahead and say, okay, 3 hours, that way we're already prepared for 3 hours. It's going to be a 3-hour movie, and enjoy ourselves. I love DC about as much as you do, you know, but they can't get us no good DC movies. The Batman trilogy was awesome. I like that.
Mm-hmm.
The Man of Steel movie, I like that one. It was pretty straight. But this Batman vs Superman, I enjoyed it. But like you said, I wish they would have just went ahead.
It could have been better.
It could have been better. But I think what you've been saying before is in that marketing, as in I think they showed too much of that movie, as in showing Doomsday. If they had never shown Doomsday, I think more people. I think
we all would have went apeshit in the theaters. I think we all been like, "Holy crap, that's awesome!" And instead of, why did they just show us this? And now we're expecting it, and that's what I got mad. You know how I broke the internet. I dropped glasses. I threw stuff. I was off my rocker and should have been committed. But anyway.
Yeah, because it was everybody was complaining that Doomsday looked like Donatello from the Ninja Turtles.
Yeah, I
know.
So
if they had never showed that, we would have been fine because they showed him being born or whatever, how you want to say it, and then develop once all the spikes and all that good stuff came out. Like I said, I enjoyed the movie. I'm definitely going to buy it when it comes out on Blu-ray with the extended cut to go with my collection, and you know, this time be able to drink a beer with it.
Yeah, there you go. Tim, what about you? Hey, free movie on Monday if it's available to you. Would you go see it if you had nothing to do on Monday night?
Yeah.
Cool.
I'm gonna go see the Killing Joke when it comes out on July 25th.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, they're showing that in theaters. So here's my thing about. Okay, it actually is a perfect segue from what we just spoke to. Just literally 5-10 minutes ago. 5 minutes ago. Sorry, guys. I'm a little.
That's okay. Dude, don't worry about it.
But so they. Okay, so
go for it.
The Warner Brothers PR is you know, I don't know the best words to describe it is damage control. Okay, this movie came out. They're like, you know, and here's the you know, oh, here we go. Hey, Marty, this is the correct use of the word caveat. The caveat is they made $827 million on it, right? But
worldwide.
Yeah, but it was still like everybody was all like, we were expecting over $1 billion, but it's like, okay. So the movie, they came out and said, hey, we're going to have the extended release, and this is what it's whenever I hear the word director's cut, it's saying like, this is the movie I really wanted to make, but for some reason or other, it didn't let me, and I'm blaming the studios, this and that, you know what I mean? And then so when they say this is the real movie, you know, and it's almost like, wait a second, you know, why didn't you give us the real movie to begin with? Why didn't your editors do it? And when they were cutting the film, and all this good, right? I mean, that makes sense, you know.
Yeah, I mean,
so when they say that, and it's kind of like, part of me thinks, oh, it's just a way for them to get DVD sales, right? It's like, oh, hey, here, guys, this is the good one. Here, buy this one. Trust me. This is the one you wanted to see. We got a bunch of extra stuff in there, blah, blah, blah. And then the thing we just talked about, what, you know, inviting all the critics out where they said, hey, here's an early look at all the stuff. Look at this little thing we're showing. We're showing you set pieces. We're showing you costumes, this and that. So go back and report it. And it almost backfired on them because the people who came back were saying, you know what, this was a kind of odd dog and pony show that they gave us, kind of to tell us, you know, hey, we want you guys to see this so, you know, you guys can give positive vibes out there to do it. You know what? And they probably don't even need to do it. Justice League may be a great movie, you know, but by doing that, they plant the seed in everybody's head a year in advance. So for a year in advance now, everybody's going to be, there's going to be internet blogs and articles about why they're doing this, and everything is going to be put underneath a microscope. And you don't want that. Just let the film do. Because here's the thing. When they invite critics out to sets, you know, people in the business, typically the studio tells them don't say anything. You know what I mean? We're just giving you this so you can talk about it very vaguely. But in this instance, they said tell whatever you want to everybody. You know what I mean? And it was kind of like when Batman vs. Superman, when Zack Snyder came out and his ego got the best of him, he's like, oh, this is going to be the best thing ever. You know, Marvel films are for kiddies, blah, 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 blah. And it's like, dude, okay, once you say that, you have put yourself in a really high position, right? You know what I mean? It's kind of
you put a bullseye on you because if anything does go wrong, you're the blame, and that's it.
If you don't knock it out of the park, then you're going to get ostracized, criticized, whatever size, because, you know, you were talking all this shit and it didn't come through. So it's interesting. But, you know, they have all these films slated up, so, you know, hopefully they just do it in a chronological order that, you know, makes sense. So this movie happened, and then we introduced this character here, this character here. Hopefully it's not just a bunch of standalone movies that don't do nothing, don't do anything, and that, you know, that there's a teaser here, Easter egg here, an end credit scene here that said, oh, this is the next movie that's coming over, you know, this and that. I mean, I know DC doesn't want to be Marvel, but, you know, you can still take parts of it. Nobody's going to say, oh, you guys are just copying Marvel's, you know, game plan. You know what I mean? It's like, no, they're not. It's, you know, but
putting at the end of end credits, because that's where they started this whole thing, putting at the end credits. Maybe just put it like in the middle of the end, maybe when the credits go up, you had to show a couple of names, and then boom, a little scene, and then the rest of the credits, and everybody leave and go home and kumbaya, have a barbecue, and call it a night. You know.
I mean, do you remember Superman, the first Christopher Reeve movie, right?
Yeah.
At the end of the credits, what did it have?
Superman Returns. Superman 2 coming next year or something like that. He'll be back or whatever. Yeah.
Maybe do it like that.
Yeah, they can do it like that. They can say something like that. But you know, yeah, I think. Well, let's see what we got coming up as the slate, as you say, Tim. We got Suicide Squad coming up in August, which we all look like that it's going to be good. I hope it's going to be good.
It looks really
really good.
From what I'm seeing so far. Yeah.
Yep. And then after that, the next movie up for them will be Wonder Woman. And then after that one is the Justice League, because Justice League is filming now. Then they said The Flash, Aquaman, Cyborg, Green Lantern Corps, and then somewhere in between The Flash and the Aquaman is supposedly the new Batman film. And we don't know where Shazam is falling into this yet. So
2018, right?
2019, I heard Shazam was going to be. So... Okay. But why not? But like I said, we'll see what happens to that. They're probably still trying to get everything in order. But at least we got movies coming out. Doesn't matter. Wonder Woman is done. They're filming Justice League now. That's going to be done at the end of the summer, maybe going into next year. They'll be finished filming that. Then it's on to The Flash and Aquaman. The Flash has gotten a new director. Aquaman's director is still attached, and he's very excited. James Wan is a great director. I enjoy his stuff, and I think he'll do a good job with it because he's really passionate about it from what the interviews I hear and all that. So I think we're in good hands. I hope so. I know I said this last time, but we just got to wait and see. I think Suicide Squad is really going to start getting us DC fanboys in a good mood because that looks like a fun, entertaining film. and it's not Batman, Superman driven. You're gonna have a little Batman in there because you gotta have a little bit with him and the Joker and Harley Quinn and all that shit. But it's mainly gonna be on villains and especially people we have not seen on the screen. So I'm pretty excited for that. So I can't wait. But another thing came out of that expo, and Tim, you were talking about that. So I'm gonna throw it to you. You explain the other thing, some other multi-universe project happening, which is quite interesting. So I'll give it to you.
But
Tim.
before that,
I'm sorry. Yeah, where? Okay.
Yeah, but before that, I hope that Flash movie is on par because the TV show blows it away.
I know it's a tough thing to deal with right now. They gotta hit. They're gonna do Flashpoint, people. Flashpoint. This is gonna be great.
The way he runs on the TV show is just perfect right there.
I know.
And then the little glimpse that we caught on Batman vs Superman, I did not like that.
I know. Well, we gotta just wait and see, man. I'm with you on that one. But Tim, I'll shoot it to you. What else did you? I think were you at the expo? Did you go?
No. Somebody tweeted it out, and before I go into that, what got me really optimistic about the Justice League movie is it was based on the Alex Ross version of the Justice League. So, and anything Alex Ross does is kind of very epic in scope. So, I'm hoping that comes through. But yeah, so in Las Vegas they have something called a licensing show, which basically they show all the properties that are coming out, and they want to get people to pay into licensing for anything. So let's say I come out in a movie and I want people to say, hey, I want you to license this for toys or ads or car commercials or whatever. That's what the licensing expo is in Vegas. So there was a guy posted a picture of a banner, and it said Uniting in 2018, and it was graphics of G.I. Joe, Micronauts,
Rom,
Mask, and the Visionaries. So what that basically means is that's the new cinematic universe that's coming out. So, and this is awesome because we now have a third cinematic universe with properties, right? And these obviously are the Hasbro properties. And I think Transformers is also in that property.
Yes, so they're in that one. Yes.
So you got ROM, you got G.I. Joe, you got Visionaries. I mean, Visionaries and Masks are those 80s cartoons. If I don't know, some of the younger people remember, but you know what? That's a great thing. And like I've been telling you for weeks and weeks and months, go out and buy Micronauts #1. Go out and buy ROM #1. I don't know anything about the other ones. I think there was an actual Mask comic book, but you know what? The ones you want to get are Micronauts, ROM. Those are pretty inexpensive right now, but I think that's a great speculation book. Just buy as many as you can.
I think Max was a 4-issue series.
Yeah, I mean, you'd be amazed at how many in the 80s when they were licensing these out. Man, there was like for every little weird cartoon or whatever, they made a comic book out of it. Even movies. Remember, there was the Indiana Jones comic book.
Yep.
RoboCop
they did too. They did a lot of the movie comics. I've seen that many Star Trek ones were big too when they did Star Trek and Star Wars and all that other stuff.
And then He-Man and DC. I mean, it was odd because how Marvel and DC both have these kind of weird properties that they were going back. I mean, look at Marvel in the 70s. They had a Logan's Run comic. How awesome is that?
Yeah, I know that's another film they've been trying to do for to get that going again. So,
and of course, Logan's Run, but that's like there's a early appearance of Thanos in that, right? Yes, there was a backstory on it, and that's why I think it's Logan's Run #6 that everybody's talking about. But you know what? I hope it happens. It's 2018, and we haven't even brought up the other fourth cinematic universe, which is Valiant.
Yes.
So we could possibly have 4 cinematic universes.
That's crazy. That's
Yeah.
just that's great for us.
Yeah.
I don't know about you guys in the chat. I don't know if anybody is watching, but I'm 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 like a kid again, man. I mean, I'm telling you, I'm ready for all this stuff. Bring it on. I mean, this is great. I mean, if there's anything good to come out of these films that are doing great for us, Marvel's just killing it. We're getting to see these other things that, hey, this Marvel and DC are awesome. But what about this? What about that? And I think we're getting some of this stuff, and especially Valiant. I'm pretty stoked about that because, I read some of that stuff during the '90s. I used to was working part time at a comic book store, and we had those things were selling good. But again, they printed so many of them, so we had plenty of copies left. But they were good stories, and they had some great characters, and it was like, hey, if this became a movie, blah blah blah. So here we go.
So what about Masters of the Universe? Are they still going for it with a new movie?
They've been doing that. That's been in development hell, but I do believe that is going to happen again. I cannot see a property. First of all, it's a popular property. There's no question about that. There's a lot of He-Man collectors and a lot of He-Man fans out there.
Right here, right here.
I know you're one of them, man. And
I had
I
wipe the memory of the Dolph Lundgren movie out of their minds.
Because, I mean,
it's Courtney Cox.
We haven't even brought up Spawn. There's going to be a Spawn movie.
Yeah, that too. I mean,
we haven't even talked about Millar World and all those movies. Like, imagine if Mark Millar, I mean, he did kick ass in those movies, but imagine if he combined, like, the Kingsman and all those other ones. I mean, and also the news that came out about Kick Ass is the new comic book is Hit Girl is a black woman. That just came out. They're releasing that. So, you know what? They're doing things. And Mark Millar is whatever. He's got some type of Hollywood gold, man. I don't know what connections he has, but whatever comic book he's doing or property he has
gets greenlit to be a movie.
Yeah. They make movies out of it. I mean, geez, you know what I mean? It's like, an IDW. I meant I don't know. Dark Horse. Yeah, they tried, right? Hellboy. R.I.P.
The whole Aliens and Predator thing, because that was the whole reason why that movie got made, because they made that comic book.
I'll tell you right now.
New one, right, for the Predators, it's supposed to be their backstory on how they actually became the Predators.
Yeah,
so,
they're doing
Black.
that. They're actually doing actually, just to jump into that real quick. Yes, the Alien Prometheus film sequel is filming. And that's going pretty damn well. And so Ridley Scott is back, and we're going to have the returning, the two survivors. They're coming back. Michael Fassbender is going to play the robot again, and we're going to get, I forgot the Naomi, I think that's but they confirmed her that she's in, which is a good thing, because she's probably going to be in a little bit, because he's an android and he can't age. And we don't know how long it's been since they got off the planet, so that's going to be interesting. I'll be ready for that. And also, like you said, Predator, doing something with that. So it's just like I said, a lot of these films that they're talking about, and a lot of these things we want to see done correctly. I mean, hell, I've heard Flash Gordon in here and there that they might want to do that. And I know I love the cheesy '80s film. I mean, who doesn't, man? I mean, the soundtrack was awesome. It's cheesy as hell. It was fucking awesome. I love the fucking film. So, but we definitely need an upgrade on that. But that's a down the road thing. But,
the thing with the Predator and the Alien movies, which I don't understand, maybe one of y'all can school me on, when the first Alien versus Predator movie came out, it said where the Predators came down and they had the humans build this temple so they could train for the fighting. So how old is the Predator? Because if Prometheus is what started the origin of the alien,
right?
Where do you fit the Predator in that timeline?
True, but I think they're just sticking. Ridley Scott is not throwing any Predator thing into it.
I know that. I'm just saying that the timeline. It's like
true.
I sit and think about crazy stuff like that. Wondering,
dude, I'm with you too. I would like to see that too, man. But I think they're seeing how this goes, and I know they're going to get another. I mean, there's no question about it. It's just when and where in the script and how the timing is right and everything like that. Oh my goodness. All right. So what else? Let's see. Well, some more Rebirth issues came out, which were the Flash. I picked up the Flash and Wonder Woman. I don't know what you guys got. But,
I still get my monthly from Midtown, so I don't have them.
Oh, you don't have them yet? Okay.
Yeah, they're at Marty's right now, so
Oh,
I
there
would
you go.
read all that stuff until
That cover that they did for Wonder Woman is sweet. That's the variant cover by Cho, if I'm pronouncing his name. That's a really good cover. Frank Cho. And
They
it's the 75th anniversary of Wonder Woman, too. So I think that is a fitting.
Put some weight on Wonder Woman, didn't they?
Was that?
They put some weight on her, didn't they?
Yeah.
Frank Cho makes all of his women thick. He doesn't. I mean, look at what was it? Did he start on Jungle Girl or what was it called?
Yeah, I mean, Shayna, is it Shayna the She Devil? When is Shayna the She Devil?
No, I don't think Frank Cho.
No, it's Jungle Girl. Jungle Girl.
Yeah, Jungle Girl. I mean, yeah, Frank Cho draws thick women because he like. I ain't got no problem with it. Love me.
But anyway, yeah, with the Rebirth thing, hey man, it's going well for them. I mean, they're selling out. There's a lot of stores that are actually, which was touched upon last night on the Four Awesome Guys show, that some realtors out there in stores are like selling the regular cover for the $2.99, and then but the variant, like the second one, the variant, they're selling it for another $2, so you're paying $4.99 for it. And I'm in total agreement. That's a bunch of shit. My store has not started doing that stuff, but I've gotten told by my store and another one that I go to that they saying they wish they would have ordered more of them because they just didn't know how this was going to take off, because just like everybody else thought, oh Christ, they're rebooting it again. Oh Christ, I'm not going to get stuck with all these copies, because the Marvel rebooted like 3 different times. I'm stuck with copies. They didn't expect this juggernaut to be happening, everybody grabbing these things and all that, because they're actually making some decent stories with that. So basically, since you guys are on the West Coast right now, when you went to your stores, or what, I know when you're going to shopping at different stores in LA, have you noticed that they're raising the prices on the variant covers, even though they should be $2.99?
No, they've all been the same, $2.99. They haven't raised nothing.
Okay.
They told me they wasn't raising them.
Okay.
And I've
Tim,
been to like
have you seen that? Yep.
I've been to like 4 different stores so far. So.
Okay. Tim, have you seen any bullshit like that going on?
No, because my comic shops are typically, well, they've been around for a long time and have a big customer base. So you know what I mean. I mean they order lots of them, so they make it in on the long run. You know what I mean. It's the small shops that do it, because they don't have the large volume, so they're like oh, buy this and this and that, but it's like it's go to your established comic shop that's been around for a long time and you've been a customer and have a good rapport, and and they'll take care of you. It's bullshit that the other ones, and it's typically the new shops that do that. You know what I mean? Because nowadays there's a lot more comic shops, so you have a choice. If you don't like it, go somewhere. Go take your business somewhere else. That's what I do. I left. I had a comic shop that I was going to for 7 years, and I used to drive a bit for it. And they used to price their variants, very reasonably. And then the owner, for some reason, got hold of, wow, I can make money on this, and he jacked up the prices. And I was like, wow. And I looked at it, what happened? Yeah, we're just raising the prices a little bit. I'm like, okay. So I went to my man Mike, the Big To Do shop, and you know what? I mean, his shop is so popular, you got to get there early, stand in line outside if you want to get those variants. Or, you get a pull and just tell them, hey, pull this for me. And that's another thing for people listening out there. Get a good rapport with your comic shop owner.
Oh, yeah.
Talk to them, maybe go to lunch with them or something like that, build it up, and just, and so this way you can say, hey, if you get this in, can you hold it for me? Oh, yeah, sure. So
or spend a lot of money there.
Yeah, that's basically. I've been this one shop I've been going to about, oh God, long ass time, about probably about 5 years now. Really good. I got, like you said, got to talk to the owner. I got to met the owner because my wife works in insurance, and she did his insurance on the building, and mentioned, hey, my husband's a comic book fan. Where's your store? He'll come by, and we just touched it off there. So like something with like this, like the Flash, I already knew. You know, talking with Undisputed Frost and everything and what he found out, I said, man, that's going to be a big book, especially if it's tying into this whole thing with this Godspeed character that they got going. Yeah, so I didn't have it on my pull list, so I called him up and I said, any chance you can hold me one? He said, yeah, I got you one. And they still had some copies left, but I'm like few, like at least 2 or 3 left. The Wonder Womans were gone. I actually grabbed the last one of that cover I just showed. They had a lot more of the regular covers. They're just flying off the shelves. And then this other, like I said, other small store. He's not doing that shit yet, but I've heard stores are doing that around my area, the smaller ones or the new ones, you say, because they didn't order enough of them, and they're seeing how fast these things are selling out, so they just want to take advantage of people. Or better yet, the next day, whatever variants covers they got left, they mark them up as $4.99. That's the other thing I'm hearing too.
Yeah,
and Midtown's only doing 1 per person online if you want to order it online, but you got to act fast, because I think like the Aquaman issue, when that got released, that was already sold out of Midtown. You couldn't even order it online. That was just crazy. It's just it's good for DC. It's good for what they're doing. But you know, yeah, be cautious out there, people. Do not pay $4.99 for an issue that just came out that you know that should be $2.99. There's other avenues. There's other ways to obtain the book. And like you said, get friendly with your local comic book store owner, and maybe he'll throw one in your box. That's definitely a good tip to give those people out there, too. All right.
Well, another tip is good for collectors is tell your LCS owner the characters that you like.
Mm.
And, build a good rapport. And then, and every now and then it'll be like, you know what, hey, Tim, this book came out. I thought you might like it, so I just put it in your box. If you don't want it, you don't want it. But it's a good way to say, oh, hey, and that one little variant or whatever, that could be something big, or maybe a first appearance of something. You know what I mean? So I mean, that's a good way. I mean, talk to your owner and and work it out. Get that relationship. That's the way. It's called networking. You know what I mean? Even in comic books, don't just go there. Here's my comic books. Thank you. Bye-bye. Okay.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying about that, Tim, because I know when I was stationed at Fort Lewis, my local comic book store owner, Gabby, real cool lady. She started at the age of 17 and owned her own comic book store at that age. And she would pull those other titles, and I tell her either yes or no or whatever. I didn't even have to say anything. She would pull them and be like, hey, you might want to try this, and and if I liked it, I told her, okay, go ahead and put it in there. But like you said, you got to have that rapport. You got to, not just go on there like tunnel vision, like, no, I don't want that. This is all I want. You got to variety. You got to try some variety in your life with your comics.
Yeah, I had a shop like that too where I used to live when I was growing up. Like I would tell them I like Green Lantern, I like Aquaman, I like the Justice League, and I like Superman, because at that time I was heavy into Superman when he got killed and everything like that. And at that time I was into Chaos Comics. And a lot of my shops, I had a problem trying to get those books. So he was getting them, so I said, yeah, I like Evil Ernie, Lady Death, Purgatory, all of them. So what he would do is like, well, they have so many different titles, I'll just pull one of each, and you just tell me which one, when you come in a new comic book day, which ones you want, and I'll just put the rest back. So that was cool. Like I said, that's also a great tip. I totally forgot about that. It's been a while. But yeah, some shops do that. There are cool owners out there. So everybody just shop smart, shop S-smart, and just be careful out there, okay? Don't. I swear, if I hear somebody, I just paid $4.99, then you know what? Then you should just go, get out of that store and go to somewhere else, and go to a Hastings right now because they're having a fire sale on their books. So you might get it for $1.99 right now. Hey, speaking about okay, that's comic. That's actually comic book related. Tim, yeah, I don't know much of Hastings, you know, so I know you've heard about that. That's pretty messed up that they have this backlog of freaking comics, and now the stores are closing and stuff, and they're just doing a fire sale, so people can find some nice back issues out there.
Well, it's not even that's fucked up. It's the money they owe the Diamond and the other distributors. I think the number is roughly around $2.5 million because they weren't paying. I mean, yeah. That's just bad. That's bad business, and that's what gives the comic book industry, you know, a bad name when they do shit like that. You know, they were trying to make a quick buck, and now, sorry, buddy, bankruptcy for you.
Yeah, it's bankruptcy and kind of like woohoo for us because all those exclusives that were $10 or something are now slashed in half. And I know Marty goes to Hastings a lot, so Marty out there, he's probably camping out right now to the store closings and just going to.
I just messaged him. I just asked him. I was like, "Are they closing?" He said, "Yeah, they have an issue." So I know when I head back that way, me and him both might be sitting there waiting.
Well,
like
good. Okay, everybody give Ray Jr. your want list. He might find it. So, you know, Ray Jr. is going to come back with a huge stack. Okay.
My thing is,
full of comics. I can just
don't buy them.
Don't buy them. Don't buy it.
Because they're going to have a stigma to those comics, and they're not going to be worth anything.
But they also did find some back issues. They also stocked. I know Marty said he found some back issues here and there. You know, I don't know what kind of back issues.
The back issues off the chart. I was there. They had a Hastings. They had a Hastings in Kansas, and that's where I was getting some back issues.
Oh, okay.
And then when I went down there and visited him, we went and I found some of those back issues. You know.
Well, I think the thing is
pricey.
Hastings variants. That's what I was talking about.
Yeah, those are good.
Those are going to be going down the drain.
Down the drain. You know, some of them look cool, but guys, please don't pay ridiculous prices. They're going to be in that $1 bin before you even say $1 bin soon. You know, that's just my feeling on that one. But yeah, all right. So I'll throw. If anybody's got, I know we got a couple of views, and I thank you for staying up late. Or you might be just having finished your dinner if you're on the West Coast and stuff. So if you got any questions for the panel or myself and whatever, by all means, shout it out, man, and we'll shoot some shit with your question and stuff like that. But other than that, with other news and everything like that, yeah, it was another so-so. I mean, you touched upon this, Tim, last week when I was on your show. Another so-so week besides just the rebirth issues. Nothing really sustaining. The only thing I've heard for next week is something with the Uncanny Inhumans, number 11, an introduction to a new character. Have you heard about this?
No.
No? Well, again, usually what I do when new comic books come out, first I check investcomics.com to see what the hype is, what's going on, see if there's anything interesting that I want to get into. Then I check midtowncomics.com. The day of New Comic Book Day, usually about 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, they announce the next list that's coming out. There's also other sites that tell you what other books are coming out, but I like seeing the pictures and the synopsis and everything like that. And the one book that I've seen there that was already sold out was the Uncanny Inhumans, number 11, and supposedly there's an introduction to a new character coming.
Really?
Yeah, that it's already sold out in Midtown. Both the variant covers and the regular covers. They're gone.
Oh, we got a question from the chat from our boy James. King of the Golden State.
Golden State. What has he got?
Favorite Rebirth book so far and why? I'll start off.
Go, Tim. Go. I got to think about this.
I think Flash because
I'm with you on that one too. I think Flash
because I think Flash is the main focal point of everything, and I think that's the best read. I read Batman, the first Batman that came out. It was okay. I need to catch up because I'm reading everything on my digitally.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
So tomorrow I'm gonna catch up with everything. But so far I'm at the Flash. I think that's the one because anytime you have these crossover events, there's that one book that is the focal point that everything goes to. You know what I mean? That's the main one you should read. You know what I mean? And so I think that one for me. So that's it.
All right. Ray Jr., what have you read of Rebirth, and which books do you like, and why?
I just read the DC Rebirth. I haven't read anything
Oh,
yet.
you haven't read anything else?
No.
Okay.
But from what I'm hearing, it sounds like the Flash is probably the one to go with right now. So I have that on my pull list right now. So once I get settled in down in Texas, I'm be reading the shit out of all the books. So
you're going to be in for a treat. As for me, yes, I have to agree too. The Flash is pretty awesome. The Green Lantern one is pretty damn cool too. I really like that one. Just out of curiosity, But you know what the one that's surprising me? Superman, Action Comics, whatever, anything that Dan Jurgensen is doing. That's pretty cool, because it's bringing me how I felt when I was reading that stuff in the 90s. When he died, when he came back, it kind of has that kind of same feel to it. So I'm really shocked about that. The Titans Rebirth was also a very good issue. It does tie into the whole Wally West thing that's going on. So I thought that was a very well done issue. And like I said, The Flash, Godspeed. Yeah, so I'm pretty hyped about it, and of course, the Wonder Woman I have not read, but I've heard good things, so I'll be excited to read that, and that looked pretty interesting itself. So other than that, I mean, here's the Action Comics one. This is the variant. I just love this friggin' cover. I mean, it's badass. It just brings me back to the whole thing of back in the 90s with the whole Superman thing and all that stuff, but I'm really digging it. I really and like you said, the Batman, I was like, the Turner cover is awesome. Whoever got the Turner cover, that cover is awesome. The story was, it was cool, but I'm liking the other one. So I'm actually shocked with this, and I'm gonna see where it goes. I mean, I think I had one post on one of the videos to show what I got, and it's like, oh man, you got some willpower that you didn't pick up this one and that one and everything. Yeah, well, there's a reason for that, and a lot of people know what's going on with me right now, and just to quit. So I might be out of this basement soon, so I got other shit to worry about. So other than that, I really got nothing more else, unless there's any more questions on here. We'll just close things up here. Let's see.
Actually, let's talk about
okay.
With all the hype about Rebirth.
Yep.
Marvel.
Oh yeah.
Kind of snuck in a little book that's turned out to be really fucking good. Civil War II, man.
Oh yeah,
Civil War II has been really good. I mean, everybody Rebirth, and then Marvel's like, we're gonna do this little story. Spoiler alert. Well, anyway, whatever.
Yeah.
So War Machine dies,
and
She-Hulk dies, maybe, but War Machine is definitely dead.
Yep.
And the art is awesome on it. I mean, great storytelling, and the two protagonists are Captain Marvel, Carol Danvers versus Iron Man, and it's because Iron Man is pissed because she got
War Machine.
War Machine, goddamn! I
got you.
She got War Machine to go on a mission with her, and he got killed by Thanos.
Yes.
So Iron Man got really pissed off. Why'd you do it? Why'd you do it? Blah 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 blah. So now it's like going on. I'm like, you know what? This really pulled me in. I was like, okay, it's good. So it's good that right now we got Rebirth and we got Civil War II going. I mean, that's a good thing. I mean, because I was worried.
Yeah.
I was worried about Civil War II when it came
I
out. I
think
was
we
like,
all were.
oh, are they going back to the well again already? I was like, you know
Well,
what I
after
mean?
the shit storm that they gave us with Secret Wars, because I can't even give those books away. I love the artwork. Yeah, I love the art. The covers and all that. But the story, I just didn't get. I just
It
didn't
was,
care.
yeah, it was
It was
way
just.
too convoluted
It
and
was
just,
ridiculous.
the only good thing to come out of Secret Wars was Contest of the Champions.
Okay, I'll give you
Great,
that.
fun book. That book is really fun. I mean, you got to watch it. It's really interesting and it's funny and violent and shit. But that's the only good thing to come out of Secret Wars. I mean, I don't know why they did that. So
Yeah.
hopefully they make up for it with Civil War II. And it's looking good so far. I guess another thing we talk about is, which is interesting, is the casting. Tons of casting news came out about Spider-Man: Homecoming.
Oh yes. Oh jeez, I've
And
been on a DC brain. Yeah, shoot it, man. Shoot it. Let's go. Mhm.
and what's interesting to me is, now take this how it way, but I think there's going to be a Miles Morales something in there, because there's been a lot of Puerto Rican actors or black actors in it. So I'm like, why so many people of color in a Spider-Man movie, right? From Queens. And I'm thinking, that doesn't make sense, right? It's like, what? But then I think about it, if it's Miles Morales, and because his Miles Morales' uncle is a criminal, and then his mom and his dad or whatever else. So I'm like, man, Homecoming is really sounding kind of interesting right now. It's like, you know what? Because they have tons of casting news that's coming out, all kinds of actors, and most of them are people of color. So it's kind of interesting what they're going to do with that. You know what I mean? It's
Oh yeah.
and another interesting thing is there was a picture posted by Marvel. There, if you've never been to San Diego Comic-Con,
I never.
during the week up to it or during the week of, the whole city is just comic geek euphoria. Everything. The trains have advertisings on them, all comic book related. So the one train was for Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., and it was a long train and and there's a big chain. The chain that Ghost Rider uses, flaming,
Yeah.
on the entire chain. So people are like, is Ghost Rider going to be in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.? They're like, huh. But the probably real answer is going to be Hellfire, who's Inhuman. But it's pretty interesting speculation on a fucking very slow week. Because here's the thing, man. This time of year, things are really, really slow. Because San Diego Comic-Con is next month. So all the publishers, comic book publishers, whatever, movie studios, they keep everything close to the vest because they don't want to leak it now. They want to make the big splash announcement at San Diego Comic-Con. They want to get people hyped about it because that's the thing. And Marvel is going to have a panel. Marvel Studios is going to have a panel. A lot of people thought they didn't because whatever, but makes sense though because they have Guardians of the Galaxy coming out, right? Thor is coming
Ragnarok.
out.
Yep.
Yep.
And it's and probably I think the biggest panel will probably be Doctor Strange because that's the one that's coming out soonest. So I know
that's your boy right there, man. Yeah, that's
I'm hoping for footage. And another news about the character that Mads Mikkelsen is playing and I don't want to toot my own horn, but I didn't think he was going to be Dormammu. He is some I never even heard of him, and I'm a huge Doctor Strange fan. But I do know his first appearance is in Strange Tales 130, so go get it if you want. But I think he's going to be one of those one-and-done villains that Marvel does.
Yeah.
But the good thing is that oh god, here we go. I have to say his name. Chiwetel Ejiofor.
Yeah, there you go. Close enough.
The guy's playing Baron Mordo. He is a good guy in the first movie, So, which goes back to the story, the history of Doctor Strange, because they were both students of the Ancient One until um, Ancient One picked Doctor Strange to be the Sorcerer Supreme, and Baron Mordo got jealous, and that's when he turned bad. So I could see the Doctor Strange trilogy, first one, they're pals, they're fighting this dude, and then the second one, they said, Doctor Strange or Stephen Strange, I'm gonna anoint you Sorcerer Supreme, and then Baron Mordo's like, okay, congratulations. And then, you know what I mean? And so I think they plant the seeds in the second film of him like doing back channel things to see how he can get it. And then at the end of the second film, there's that dun, dun, dun moment that reveals, and then the third movie is just full on, Baron Mordo versus Doctor Strange.
So I have a question. I know at one time they was coming up with the idea of maybe making comic books seasonal. What would be your take on that?
Say again? Comic books are
being seasonal.
You mean movies or actual comic books?
The comic books, you know how they got The Walking Dead, they got a season instead of every month. They had mentioned that before, I want to say about a year ago, but it never went through, but I kind of thought that'd be maybe good, because that way, okay, I know from this time to this time I can get my books, and then for this free time I can go back and concentrate on back issues.
No, because from a dollars and cents, from a business standpoint, that doesn't make sense, because you want a weekly readership, so they pay and everything, and also it's episodic storytelling from week to week to week. You know what I mean? I mean, it goes. I mean, from month to month to month. You know what I mean? It goes on and on. The story arcs go on and on. So, they would kind of lose and lose money, and maybe fans would be like, I'm turned off. I gotta wait for it, because on TV it's a little bit different. Because here's the reason why on TV they do it. So the big shows that come out are during the colder months of the year, right? So when do the premieres happen? They happen right around the end of summer, beginning of fall. They always say it, right? You see the teasers, the new fall premiere, because you know why? Most of the country is cold as fuck. People don't go out, and they stay home and watch TV. So, and then summer reruns are because people go out and do things in the summer, so they don't put TV show. They don't want to put their good show, the new shows. I mean, if you have a TV show premiere in the summer, that's like here. We hope you do well, and I hope the ratings go up. But the ratings are typically down, and it's all about money. So if ratings go down, advertising dollars go down. So it's like everything. So that's why we have to wait all this time. But you know what? Now there's so many damn channels, right? I mean, you got Game of Thrones is on right now, it's ending. Next week, but you got all kinds of things. You have Netflix that you could binge watch. You have things like So for me, when TV shows that I like are on hiatus because it's summer or whatever, that's when I start. I watch more sports. Baseball games or wherever, but sometimes it sucks though. Like imagine like just 2 months ago, when you had Flash on, Arrow on, Agents of Shield on, all these shows, right? Supergirl on, and then the funny thing is they all ended at once, and you're like, God damn.
Yeah, right. My DVR was blowing up all week. I was like, Jesus.
Yeah, and then you just kind of have like withdrawal. And then you look at your DVR and you got nothing. You got 10 shows recorded. What the hell?
Yeah, I know. And then now you got. I'm like, damn, this is not a goddamn thing on. All right, I guess I'll go catch up on this, or I couldn't tape everything. And so I had to, hopefully the on-demand has the back one. If not, then I just usually wait for Netflix or maybe, hey, dude, did you tape this or whatever, so who the hell knows, but no, yeah, as for seasonal comics, yeah, I'm with Tim. It's got to be a week-by-week basis. I mean, I don't think some of these places can survive just doing seasonal books, but, I wouldn't put it past on maybe a lower company that's just starting out. Maybe they can't churn them out like butter every week, and they may have to sit on it just a little bit here and there. So it's possible, but I don't. Marvel, DC, IDW, Boom, and all them, Image, no, no. They got a lot of titles that they can put different types of titles for each week, and especially now with DC, what they're doing, and soon to be Marvel. Marvel's going to do this. Marvel Now. But yeah, they're hitting it out of. I agree with Tim. They are hitting it out of the park with Civil War 2. I'm actually shocked about that. And of course, let's not forget that controversial Captain America issue that I think everybody is waiting to see. No, you're not ready for the second one. You just want to be curious to see where they're going with it.
I ain't even read the first one yet, so.
All right.
I'm going to read it. No,
yeah.
I mean, I think the last panel, you should have been like, what the fuck? I got to see what's going on here. You know what I mean? It's like Captain America is Marvel's version of Superman, where they can both be kind of Boy Scout, kind of dull things. You know what I mean? And you got to shake them up every now and then. You know what I mean? So it's see where it's going. But it's like you know what? I'm gonna read it. Because, nobody should ever read one comic and just give up on it. That's ridiculous. That's like reading a book. That's like reading a book. That's like reading a book, and after the first chapter, you're like, fuck it, I ain't reading this.
No, I know. Right? I know. Tell me about it. Yeah.
At least you got it, because comic books stories are done in arcs. They finish the first arc. It could be a 4-issue arc or a 10-issue arc or a 12-issue arc, and then you go into the next one. So give the arc a chance, and then you could say, yeah, the arc sucked. You know what I mean? You just go from there. So.
No, I hear you, man. I mean, the cover looks interesting. I'm definitely going to pick it up. That's not a question, because I just want to see where to go with it, and there was some little thing that possibly when the Marvel Now hits, they're probably going to explain that Hydra shit. So a lot of people saying, could be this, could be that, we can't, but I told everybody when that shit was going on, calm the hell down. I understand people are passionate, but it's a story. It's a story. Let the story play out.
Yeah, all fanboys complain.
Yeah, I know.
When Marvel did their last reboot, I'm not going to buy them. And guess what? They were in the top 10 in sales.
Yeah.
When Rebirth came out, I'm tired of this Rebirth reboot, and now they're in the top 10 in sales. So,
I know.
You know what? People are going to go out and buy it, and you know what? Everybody's going to talk shit and everything, but
I know. I hear you.
Hey,
no, I agree. Yeah.
Let me change the subject and talk about anime. So,
okay.
Like I said, there's nothing on TV right now. So I was watching something on Netflix, and my Netflix crapped out like it always does, bastards. Amazon Prime is actually always stable.
Yeah.
So I saw there was an anime. It was called God, I can't even say it.
Dragon Ball Super?
No. Kanonagi on the Iron Fortress, and it's pretty fucking damn good. Think of Attack of Titan. It's not like Attack on Titan, but it's the same. There's zombies, but it's in a period piece, but it's got really cool steampunk stuff to it. I highly suggest you see it. Let me get the real name because I'm going to butcher it.
No problem, buddy. That sounds good. Interesting. Yeah.
Yeah,
especially now since we got a little bit of a break from shows and we got nothing on. We're all waiting for. Well, at least I'm waiting for UFC 200 to happen, and because that's the only sporting event I'm giving a crap right now, and some NASCAR. I'm a NASCAR guy too. So
it's called Kabaneri on the Iron Fortress.
Interesting. Oh, I'm definitely gonna write that down.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. The animation is really good. I mean, spot on. I mean. Oh, that's what I was doing. I was watching Voltron
Oh, right.
on Netflix, right? And I was getting into it. It was like 4 or 5 episodes in, and then my Netflix crapped out. I was like, ah, man. So
Voltron is on point. This new series is on point. I binge watched it this week, and man, I like they didn't say form blazing sword or nothing like that, but just the new technology and how animation is going now, I really enjoyed it. Even though I still love the '80s version, but I can't complain with this new version.
Yeah, I unfortunately I have not checked it out yet, but I've been hearing it like you just said. Everybody's really enjoying it, so that is definitely on the list of when nothing is for Marky to do for one night, and I'm going to binge watch the shit out of that, and I'm going to be enjoying it too. So I'm hearing good things, so that's always good. It's always have the good little circle that we got here, and we hear little things and say, oh yeah, it's good. And I know if I get your guys' opinion on it, I said, okay, I know I'm in for a treat. So you're like kind of like my critics on some stuff that maybe I haven't read or haven't seen and everything. But I'll definitely check out what Tim said about that anime. I'm definitely going to check out the Voltron stuff. So definitely put that on your hit list, kids.
So you want to talk about CGC?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No. Good. Yeah. 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 Okay. All right.
Why are you gonna get it started?
All right. No.
Actually, you know what?
I actually can't. It's very late here. I don't want to wake up anybody.
I have an interesting one for you. Actually.
Okay. All right. Do you want? Okay. You go.
Everybody or just Marky?
All right. You go. I'll tell you what's been going on with me after my last video. But Tim, what do you got?
This one is interesting because that's why in the Fanatics forum I said I need to verify this tomorrow. But where the hell is it? Okay, let me see if I can. Maybe I can share my screen. Hold on, so I can show you guys as soon as it comes up. It's so slow.
What's all that wind blowing?
On me?
It sounds like some wind blowing.
Oh, I farted. Oh, come on, come up. Come on.
Yeah, trust me, that's what I was trying to do. I said, oh, the hell with this presentation shit. Because I had all this stuff lined up. I was going to talk about this and show this picture, talk about that, and it was just not working.
All right, so while I wait for it, the gist of it is... All right, here. How do I share my screen?
You click the... you see that one with the little arrow?
I got it. Yeah, I got it.
Okay.
Hold on, let me hide my porn. Okay, you guys see that?
Yep, got it.
Okay, so that is a Batman #1, right?
Right.
That just came out?
Just fucking a week ago? Yeah.
What do you guys see different?
That's the old case.
Exactly.
Yep.
So that's the problem to the fix is just go back to the old case?
You want to laugh? Okay, Tim, continue with this. I'm going to tell you what they told me.
All right, so we're like, nah, that's fake, that's fake. So we actually pulled up the CGC number. Can you guys still see this?
A little fuzzy, but yeah. Oh, there we go. It's a lot better now. Yeah.
Okay, the gray date was 6/22.
That was yesterday.
So I was a little skeptical, so I was like, I don't know about that. But people in Florida can do a walkthrough and get it same day, right?
Wow, convenient.
So, yeah. So I'm thinking, that's interesting. So, did they go back to the old case? And I mean, that's what I'm going to verify. I'm going to call CGC tomorrow and see, because, tons of people can just, Photoshop things or whatever, you know what I mean? But we pulled up the serial number, and it was, a 9.8, but it still doesn't tell you that it's, whatever casing it is. So I'm going to ask, call them and say, hey, are you guys going back to the old cases? You know what I mean? Until they figure it out, because that would, make sense, for damage control. But here's the thing: if they're going back to the old cases, which
Wow.
I have no problem with the old case, but here's what I'm saying.
People who already spent money getting the new cases.
No, think about it from a investment perspective. Remember, CGC came out and said, "Hey, if you send us your CBCS books, we'll give you a 30% discount on them."
Mm-hmm.
This would be the best time, because you get the best of both worlds. You get a CGC book sent to CGC to get the CGC, and it'll be worth more money. I mean, whatever side of the fence you're on, CBCS or CGC, the facts are facts. That you get more value for your CGC book. So if you ever wanted to jump ship, now would be the time, if they're using this. So I'm gonna call tomorrow and ask them, and then
Okay.
I will post it in the Comic Book Fanatics forum to see, because that would
that's definitely going to be interesting for us. And here, let me take stop presenting.
Well, I know I was going to call them tomorrow anyway, because they finally received the books that I sent in at the Dallas Comic-Con for Sam De La Rosa, the Thor annual number 10, and All-Star Squadron number 31. So I forgot to tell them I wanted it pressed, so they told me as soon as I saw it charged to call them, so they can just grab it and go get my books pressed as well.
Right. Well, that is definitely interesting. Great news, Tim. I did not see that. Like I said, I've been dealing with other things and everything, but wow, that actually makes sense of this email that I got after, literally, if people haven't paying attention to my channel and all that other shit, and I'm sure you heard it from other places. Yeah, I sent back my Batman 155 after I showed them and showed all the world and everything that, hey, this is screwed up. I talked to a person named Brittany McManus at CGC, and she said, send the book directly to me, and we'll refund you the shipping, and there will be no charge. Not a problem. Sent the book. 2 weeks go by. I get the book back. I open it up. It's like, okay, this looks worse now. And actually, I was able to present it a little bit better this time and actually show how worse it looked. I mean, it just didn't. I was like, really? Contacted her again. She tells me in quote, I'm actually opening up the email right now, and just give me a quick second here. She is basically saying, let's see, CGC. All right. Okay. We made some major adjustments to our case over the weekend. So this past weekend that just happened. So these issues are completely gone. I asked for your books to be recalled to put it in this new holder, but it already shipped to you. I apologize. Please send the book back, and your other books that you inquired that are in our system will not have any of these issues. That's her statement, Brittany McManus over at CGC Comics. I found that, all right, damage control, answer, whatever, but now, hearing your thing, Tim, and actually seeing that book, yeah, they probably may have fixed it, but we'll see when I get the book back, and we'll see when my books come back, because I got 3 in the system right now. I got 2 Silver Ages getting graded, and I got my Caliber Presents #1s signature series signed by James O'Barr graded and everything. So we'll see when they come back, and I hope so. I really do, because it's really a shame, and I try to explain this as calmly as I can. Because it is late, and I don't want to wake up the neighbors, including my wife, or my ass will be grass. So, look here. I mean, presentation is key. That's just my thing. And when you got something that maybe you loved when you were growing up, or excited that you got it, and you want to preserve it, whatever reason that it is, pass it down. maybe use it as a little blue chip down the road if times get tight. Whatever you want. It's your property. You can do it. But I'm a guy of preserving stuff that I truly, truly love, and I love comics and plus other things. When you have it looking like that, and maybe you didn't spend a lot of money, but maybe you did. Really? I mean, and then you look at the other cases and how they presented itself, and you look at the older cases that they did, it did not look anywhere near that. Everybody saw, oh, those things are there. Yeah, but it's really prominent on this case. I seriously, I went through all my CGCs. I could not find any similar issues that book was showing. And I just don't see it. Maybe I'm blind. Maybe I need a new pair of glasses, but I don't know. That's just me. So I'm hoping that's what they did. That would be a good thing. I think that would stop all this madness going on. But yeah, you know, I wouldn't be surprised if they did that, Tim. So so you said you're going to check up on it and you'll give us a shout out on the Comic Book Fanatics Facebook page. That would be quite interesting what you try to find out on that. And also, seriously, when that book comes back, there will be another video, and I will open it, and we'll all look at it together like I did with the last video, and we'll see for ourselves if they did change the case, if they put that inner well back in there, or whatever that is. So,
yeah, I mean, looking through all the comments in the Fanatics forum, and it's like a lot. I don't know if they're new collectors or whatever. You know, people may take offense to whatever I'm saying, but you know, it's like, don't take a knee-jerk reaction to everything. You know what I mean? Let it play out. You know, you sit back and but all of a sudden it's like the Marvel DC thing. Now it's the CBCS CGC thing. It's like, I'm never sending that. I'm gonna take my CGC book and send it to CBCS. It's like, okay. And the only thing I will say about that, I'm not going to talk about all the people complaining about it. I'm going to talk about this from a financial perspective, okay? Strictly financial, right? We're not talking about how you like to display it and how it looks and everything, but from a financial perspective, stay the course, because that's your only option. If you take that book, and if there is damage to the book and you send it to CBCS, so now you have a CBCS that you like the better case, but it could get a lower grade. Right. But if you stick with CGC and while they work out all their differences, you're gonna get the same grade. They will not, I repeat, they will not lower the grade because they know it was their issue. So right.
That's what they've done with us.
Yeah, for future books, you can send them to CBCS. But the ones you got from CGC that have the Newton rings around them, or the waviness, which can be pressed out, the staple thing, I'm still a little bit skeptical on it, because on my old slabs, the staples do that too. But you know what I mean? Just wait it out. Work with their customer service like you did until they get it fixed. Because it makes no sense for you to send, let's just say you have, whatever, New Mutants 98, 9.8, right? And you don't like it. It's got oil rings on it, whatever. You send it to CBCS because you're just sick and tired, and you're like, rah, rah, and I totally understand that. I would be pissed too. And you send it to CBCS, and whatever you think, CBCS is a bit more strict.
Yes, they are.
And you just got a 9.8 New Mutants 98 9.8 first appearance of Deadpool, really hot book, and you send it over there. CBCS comes back and you have a 9.4. You just lost $200-300.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So don't bite the bullet and just wait it out. I mean, it's sitting there. It's not gonna get worse. You know what I mean? I mean, even if it does get worse.
Yeah, Biggie's Comics put that ease to rest. He opened up his case on a live show, and he had the same problems I did. And he said, "Nope, they're done." As soon as he lifted it off, there's no damage, there's no nothing. So that made me feel a little bit better.
All the newer collectors who have recently started slabbing, the Newton effect happens on the old slabs as well. It happens when the inner mylar pushes up against the case. It's not on the comic. It's the inner mylar pushing up against the case, and that's what causes this weird oily effect. But if you open up your comic, you don't see any oil. And guess what? You just cracked your comic, and now you got to get it graded again. And chances are you probably fucked it up when you cracked it, and it's going to get a lower grade, right? So just stay the course and just go with it. You know what I mean? I mean, they're going to work it out. I mean, if tomorrow, if they confirm that they went back to the old cases, which when I think about now, I don't know. I don't think it's the old case. I think it is a new case.
I think it is a new one too. Yeah.
Because the old cases, the inner mylar manufacturer went belly up. So they must have found a new one to do it. You know what I mean? Because it doesn't matter. Because where would they get that inner sleeve? Because according to that picture, it's in an inner sleeve.
Yes, it is. You can actually see it. Even on the little pixelation that we got here, I was like, holy shit! Am I seeing that correctly?
But I'm still a bit skeptical because the label.
Yeah.
Looks old. It looks like the old one.
Yeah. Why use the old label? I mean, okay, I understand you could use the new inner mylar and everything, but why not? You know, why not just use the new beautiful labels? You know what I mean? Because if you look at it, you know, because on the old labels, you know, the actual number is kind of grayed out, right? Mm-hmm. And now when you look at the new cases, they're super, super dark. They're in bolded black. You know, they jump out at you.
Is that sticker still on the inside? I didn't catch that one. Or was it on the outside?
No. We're talking about the label on the front with the 9.
Yeah, I know that, but what about the label on the top? Was that?
Well, I couldn't see in the picture.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, so we'll see. You know, I mean, I'm skeptical, but I mean, we'll see.
I'm skeptical too, but like I said, that was the email response that I got from Brittany McManus. And I'm telling everybody, I'm throwing her name out. I'm throwing her name out because I want to tell everybody out there that if you have or you're not happy with your comic in their new case, you contact her, show her pictures. They will recase it for free. You will have to pay the shipping to them, but hold on to your receipt, mail her a copy, scan her the copy of it, it will be refunded. So technically you're not paying anything to get this redone. This is the second time I'm sending it to them. And if it comes back messed up again, I'm sending it to them again. Because I'd like with Tim, that book is a 6.0. There's a little bit of there's writing on the back of the book. I don't want the grade to go any lower or whatever, and I don't want to take that risk of knocking that book down. So I'll send it back 20 million times. I'll make sure they'll pay shipping for a whole year for me before I get it the way I want it to be. So, and if it comes to be a problem, then I just have to say, fuck it, I'll crack it, give it to CBCS. But I'm telling you, I think I'm with Tim on this. You know, just be patient, talk to these people, but still, they're the top graders, and I really think, kind of like Warner Brothers, they jumped the gun and they threw a new product out, and when the backlash came, and without testing it, I mean, how can I say this? When I was in shipping, and I was doing a job for shipping, and there was a thing called quality control, and we also do that in my job too. Yeah, QC.
Every job does that. And
right. All right.
Software development, you go to QA testing for months and months to work out all the bugs, and you know. But here, I mean, that's why it was like, man.
That's what bothered me. How can you not see that and send it out? The collector will deal with it. You know.
Because the Newton rings, it wasn't something that happened over time with like the waviness, right? Because when I got my books, the Newton rings were immediate. You know what I mean? Not unless it happens like, they slab it and they go, oh, it looks fine, and then 5 minutes later it starts happening and then they ship it off, which sounds kind of weird, but they obviously need to rework their QC process.
Yeah,
So.
I agree with that. I definitely agree. But you know what? The customer service, this Brittany McManus person, yes, that's like the 5th time I'm going to shout out her name. So everybody can send her a whole bunch of emails, because I know there's people, I'm serious, I'm not joking. There's people out there that maybe feel the way I do, or maybe just upset how their book looks. And this is the email that they sent me. I would show you it, but I got my personal information in there, so I'm not going to throw that to the world. So it's just, it's there. I'm not lying. I'm not making it up. They told me that they have fixed the problem last weekend. So when we get this thing back, yeah, there'll be a video. Yeah, and we'll check it out together, and I'll post pictures and whatever, and see if they actually fixed it. So that's it with that. That's my update with the CGC. And Tim, I thank you for that other tidbit of news and everything else. Gentlemen, it is going on 20 minutes to 2 o'clock in the morning here in the East Coast. I need to get some rest for work, so I'm going to start closing up the show, and I'm going to go to Ray. Shout-outs, final thoughts, all that other jazz. What do you got?
Shout-outs. I'd like to shout-out to Pop Docs Comics. Met them this weekend at, the past weekend at the Comic-Con, so go check out their channel. Shout-out to 2 guys on the panel right now. It was enjoyable. I get a lot of free time right now until July 7th, when I probably actually go back to work, which hopefully I don't. I'm probably take another 20 days just to relax. And I'm just looking forward to, once I get settled in, to read all the Rebirth stuff. I did read DC Rebirth. I did enjoy that one, but the individual titles, I'm just looking forward to be able to read those. So that's all I got.
Tim, my man, what you got, buddy, for the people?
Hey, Marky, I just wanted to hang out with you, man. I didn't have anything to do, and you were going to rant and rave. I thought you was going to go off and rant and rave, so that's why I really came out.
Gotta be calm. Gotta be a little calm now.
Props to Marky and Ray Parker Jr. I had a good time. Feeling really. So, yeah, that's it, man. Keep digging in them long boxes, suckers.
Well, as you saw, I was digging in them short boxes at the con.
Well, anyway, first I want to thank you, gentlemen, for coming on, and Tim, Ray Jr., thank you so much, and everybody that was in the panel, in the chat, asking questions, King of the Golden State, Exhibit, Nerd, Vision, Big East Comics, yes, he was in there. Sorry, man, I missed your questions. Who else we got here? The Comic Book Estes, at least. I'm sorry, it's late. I can't find. I'm sorry if I butchered your name. My nephew was in there. Oh, my TZ videos. So my shout-outs will definitely be to Kyle Rowe. Dude, you've always been cool, and I really, really love that package that you sent me of your contest. So thank you very much. I'm going to shout you out until the end of time. You're a real cool dude. And then another one goes out to everybody on the off-air hangouts. Gene, Paul, Ace, Peter was a great thing there. Shout out to everybody there. All the other shows that are out there, thank you very much. And to Undisputed Frauds, who is right now at the Sonoma track, they're getting ready for the NASCAR weekend race. Have fun, brother. Hope you have a great time, and keep cool, because it's going to get hot over there. Until then, next time, this is Shooting the Shit. Episode 7 is done, and I'll talk to you all soon. Thank you all.